I had to log out, delete what I had previously, and then do this again because my phone holder or camera holder kind of fell off. So here we're gonna try this again. So I'm 10 minutes behind. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of time to roll in, and I'm just gonna make sure that I have my everything set up right here. So as you guys come in, I can see your comments, and then we can start. All right, okay, so I can see a couple of you are coming in. First of all, I want to start off by saying happy Valentine's Day. I think I hyped it up like to the max. And I'm also dressed up to the max here with all this red. I can see a couple of people are in here. Hi, Patty. Hi, Zanette. Hi, Leah. Oh, and hi, Leah's mom. Awesome. Sorry, guys, I'm a little bit behind. Hi, Gladys. Happy Valentine's Day. Hi, Amapola. Hi, Gail. Cindy. Hey, Cindy. 2 Cindy's in the house. What? Hi, Shazia. And thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. Okay, so first things first, as most of you know, if you've been following me on Instagram, my handle is Hello Clarice G. If you're not, please do follow me. I have been doing, or there's been a Valentine's Day giveaway. I did 2, one with Lisi Arts, who does amazing resin stuff. And the other one is just with myself. And we did the whole, can you paint the first Valentine's Day card and tag me and enter your name in a draw? And I just want to announce the winner right before we begin. And so the winner is Brit's Journal. So Brittany, if you are watching, you're the winner. We get a one-on-one session together. So via Zoom. So I think I will just send you a message as well in case you're not here today for today's live. But yeah, we get a class together. And yeah, so that's out of the way. And I also wanted to let you guys know that I am super excited for today. I came out because my neighbors were like, hey, can you come out really quickly so we can have a quick chat? Well, one of my neighbors. And how nice was this? He gifted all of his ladies on the street this Luxe box. I don't know if you guys know about what the Luxe box is, but it's like a whole bunch of goodies in like nail polish and makeup and, well, nail polish is like makeup, right? But love it. Like it's got like some new nail polish. Well, yeah, I said nail polish, lipstick, and oh my gosh, look at this eye glitter. I don't know if a lot of you love glitter, but you know I do. So I can't wait to use this. Maybe if I wasn't coordinated in red, I probably would have put on some of that glitter on my eyes and maybe done some lenses instead of the stuff here. But yeah, I just wanted to show that to you guys. And also I wanted to say, it's been a lovely Valentine's Day so far, but I wanted to touch base on my next post that I'm going to put on right after we finish our live and our lovely time together, relaxing over Valentine's Day, talking about, you know what, it's fine if, I don't want to say you're alone because I know it's like a pandemic and a lot of people are having a rough time not being able to see loved ones and whatnot, depending on where you are in the world, I guess. But hang in there. I think a lot of it stems from being just like mentally strong and just knowing that there is going to be a light at the end of the tunnel in terms of at some point all of this needs to end. And so hang in there is all I can say. And at least we have each other during this time. And let's make the best of this time and enjoy this. So let's begin. I am going to let you guys know exactly what we're going to do today. But hollyhocks, if you guys didn't catch it this week, we did these over for the week's tutorial. And what I am doing today is by popular demand. I had posted this a while back. It was just a practice session that I did. And it is this bucket full of roses, and a lot of you really loved it. And so we're gonna do that today because it was a very relaxing thing to do, and I want us to relax. I want us to have a good time. We'll be mixing, I think, I'll tell you exactly what we're mixing. Let's not get into that right now. I just wanted to show you what we're doing. And lots of repetition, so it'll be fun, nothing too tedious. Slightly different from these roses, depending on how much detail you put into it and how much water we have going on. So let's just see how it goes. And I am going to flip the camera right now and make sure I have enough space. And we will begin. All right, flipping the camera over. And sorry about that. Looks like my phone holder is still not set up properly. And I need to set that up really quickly before I can go on. Otherwise, this is gonna fall off. So give me 1 second, guys. Okay. Okay, I'm going to have to restart this live because I need both my hands to be able to restructure this phone holder. So give me a second to come right back on. Or actually, you know what? I'm not going to restart it. I'm just going to adjust the phone. Adjust this really quickly. And we're ready. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties on Valentine's Day seems to be a thing. All right, so I'm gonna position my camera so you can see exactly what I have. So I'm using my Canson watercolor paper, which, by the way, all my items are listed in the description below, so you can feel free to have a gander at that if you're considering any of that. Oh, thanks, Tina, you're cute. I'm going to put all of this stuff aside, and I'm going to tell you exactly what colors I'm using. So for this week, or for this painting, we are going to be using these two colors. It is the Carmine and the Madder Lake Red. Give me 1 second with the lighting. There we go. Carmine and the Madder Lake Red. So this is more of a pinky red, and then this is like a regular red, I guess. Not so much pink in it. So cooler red, warmer red. I'm definitely going to keep the violet handy as well because I like to mix some of the violet with my Carmine and get like a purpley mauve color. And we want to have different variations of these roses because we're going to have a whole bunch of them there. And then for the vase or the bucket, whatever you want to call it, we're going to have a gray color for that. And I'm going to lift up my screen a tad bit because it seems to be like focusing in and out and doing this weird bit, even though my hands are there. Okay. And I'm getting my water in here so you can see that. But my main thing that you guys need to see is the palette. So we're going to mix in some colors because we need to have the colors ready so we can just kind of go in and have the roses blending in as we paint them and go along. For my brushes, I am going to be using the number 4 Silver Black Velvet, my mop brush in the 1, and the Princeton Neptune 8. I'm going to keep that handy, but I'm also going to include the Silver Black Velvet 8. So we're going to have all these handy because if we need anything for blending to give us that nice soft edge, we're going to need some extra brushes where we can just get some water and kind of smoothen out the edge. All right, so these are going to be additionally loose compared to my regular style. So I hope you guys are ready for that. I am going to use the number 8 Princeton to mix in some color. Let's mix that color in. I'm going to get my favorite Carmine red happening. And in fact, I think I also want to mix in a little bit of the like an orange, like a warm orange with some of this color on the side, just to get another kind of hue that we can have for our roses. And for that, I think I would suggest your golden. So if we can get like I'm trying to get a corally color. Let's just see if I'm able to do that or not. Oh, my paper towel is lying off to the side. Let me just see what I can get on that. I don't want it to be too dark because I want it to be just something that can like blend in with that carmine pink that we have happening. And then we're gonna get in some of the carmine along with our violet. And at this point, I'm wondering if we should even mix any of the Madder Lake red. You can see I'm very partial to the carmine. I don't know, it's just me. Getting some of the violet and mixing it in with the carmine, and we're getting like this. Hopefully these 3 colors will blend in super nice. And so we have just enough of these in here. For the dark centers, as you guys know, I like to use this for the outer petals. For the dark centers, you can literally just take the color using your number 4 or another brush from the cakes themselves and like put it into the center. That's at least my thought process behind that. So then we're not using too much space on here. Let's see, I think maybe for this color, I think it's a little too red. I'm gonna get a little more of that orangey hue and add that in there. And that's a little bit nicer, I think. Okay, Laura actually mentioned getting the Madder Lake red and carmine together, and it's pretty. So you know what? Why not? Let's try and mix that. And let's just have that one more variation of color on the side. I don't have a lot of space. I'm just going to mix that here. Just a tiny bit, just to see what that looks like. And then we're just drawing color directly from this palette. It's all going to be a blend, beautiful mush of all these beautiful hues. So hope you guys will like that. And then obviously for our bucket area or our vase, we are going to use like a gray. I can't find my black, so I might end up using like the indigo and just having a very light version of that, so that might work. So I'm keeping that on the side and handy. And sorry, just want to make sure that this camera is on point before we begin. Okay, perfect. So not perfect again. Now make sure I don't move my hands from the screen. Here we go. So we're going to start off with, got some color on the paper already before even starting. just want to conclude. I've turned the light off, guys, and I'm not sure why this is still being so weird. Maybe this will help. Okay. I'm going to keep a close eye on this guy here. All right, so we're going to start off with the color that I have. So the color that I have on my brush right now is the combination of the Madder Lake and the the Madder Lake and the other lake that I'm using, which is the, why is this evading me right now? Madder Lake and Carmen, yes. Okay, so I'm dipping the tip of my brush in water, and I'm going to use the number 8 itself since I have paint on this, and we're going to start. So because we want the roses to be like a big bunch happening right here, I'm going to try and make sure I leave a lot of white space all around, but we'll start our roses off right here in the center, and then we're going to build all around it. So starting off with the centers, we're doing very small C strokes and very loosely kind of placing the color, leaving a lot of white space around, and making sure that your strokes are like jaggedy, not perfect. And then leaving a couple of strands around here, and then you can take the next brush. So you can either use the mop or any of the other brushes that you have and blend these in. So the whole point is to have the outer edges blending and the inner bits like stark and dark. So the edges are like almost melting into one another. And then I'm going to take the same brush, get some of the purple that I mixed. I'm going to add it to the center a little bit just to highlight these. And then I'm going to start a rose like right at the top. And same thing that we did previously. So I'm just adding a couple of strokes very loosely all around, then kind of phasing out to the edges, then going in with this brush, and we are smoothing things out. And we're pushing the color and the water around to give us a nice blend, a soft blend. And you can see how these look, right? Pretty? Not pretty? Feel free to comment, guys. And now I'm just going in, adding in some additional color using that number 8. And just adding some folds into what we have done in here. And this is the perfect time to add this detail because everything is damp and you are able to get that nice blend of color. So now let's try another version of this. So let's get the first mixture that I did, which was just the Carmen. And let's do it over on this side. And this one, I'm gonna make the rose like seem like half of it is like under the 2 roses right here. So I'm gonna end that right there. And then going in with this brush, the mop, I am smoothing the color around. Now, if you get puddles of water, that's where your paper towel comes in handy, guys. Make sure you take your paper towel and dab, and that should save things. So you can see how I didn't add a lot of detail here. My whole method to this so-called madness is literally adding a couple of strokes and then taking a brush with water to smoothen things out. And then just kind of going in the center and just adding another hue based off all the hues that we've mixed to the side. Excuse me. And now if I can just get this to kind of relax and not spaz out as often, we can continue. So the whole point is to continue doing this same kind of motion. Let's try one more pink, and then we can do the orange. I want to make sure that the orange really blends in with that pink and gives us a nice soft hue. Right now, because I'm using Canson paper and this is not 100% cotton, I'm pretty sure everything is dried up already, so there's no point in using that orange right now. So let me get some of the pink, or maybe even some of the mauve, and mix it in with what we mixed previously and start here. So if we're doing it this way, let's have one happening over here on this side. No, this side. So literally I'm just like dabbing in the center, creating some like comma shapes around it. Then at a slight distance, I'm adding some additional strokes. Then taking the mop brush, dipping the tip in water, brushing off most of the water. I'm just gonna add some strokes using that water. And there we go. And just allowing the water to do its thing and kind of smooth around or go around. Just going to add some additional dark hue to the center here. Perfect. So now this almost looks like one of those English roses. Okay, now let's try if I can get some of that orange happening. Brushing off most of the pink. I'm going to get some of that orange using this. And let's try it. Let's try some of that like right here. And again, same technique, just a couple of strokes in the very center, and then some stretched out a little bit further. And then going back in with this brush. I didn't wash this brush, as you noticed, or may have noticed, I'm not sure. I want that pink to kind of blend in with the orange. I want this whole, all the colors that we're using to be kind of cohesive looking. So it's like the pink blending into the orange, so on and so forth. And that's a great blend. I'm gonna add a little more orange to the center to kind of have that nice and darker compared to the rest. And now, oops, can switch back and get some of the pink carmine that I have here. And let's add some of that happening over here on this side. And this one I'm gonna do it like that English rose. So I'm adding a couple of swirly lines around. And then I'm gonna add circular lines to kind of cover this. Get a little bit of water, adding some more. And then taking this brush and I'm gonna try and smoothen things out. And then maybe just get a little bit of that purple and just add it to the center. So feel free, I'm using whatever colors that come to mind. I'm kind of using them in my blending here, but feel free to use any of the colors that we've mixed. Like if you want to use the pink red instead of the purple, or the Madder Lake red instead of the purple, like feel free to use that. All the colors would go together nicely because we're using all of them pretty much. So keep that in mind and you should be good to go. I used the mop brush here, I think, for this. So I'm just gonna smoothen out the edge. So then I can do maybe perhaps like another orangey floral right here. I'm getting a little bit of that orange. I'm gonna add some on here. So this rose is like literally peeking from under here. And white space is your friend, guys. So you're just doing that same technique and you're adding a lot of white space in between your little comma strokes and you're just moving the color around. And that's what really helps with this. Let's go and get in some more of that Madder Lake and what was the other one that we mixed? A Madder Lake and Carmine mixture. I'm gonna add some of that in the orange here just for creative interest. And I'll do another rose over here on this end. So adding some C strokes. And then just some water to kind of blend in the edges, or you can use your mop brush. I'm just half following the conversation and I'm seeing people are addressing how amazing the mop brush is and how it's also quite pricey. Yes, it is. But it's kind of a game changer when you're creating blooms on a level like florals that are really what's the word? Loose and pretty. I love the organic shapes the mop brush gives you. And yes, I was a little bit hesitant in the beginning about investing in one, but then as soon as I did, it was amazing. Perfect. So that's literally the whole technique. We're just doing a whole bunch of these little florals all around and blending them as best as we can. So it's like dark in the center. And then blending the edges. You can have some of them just like literally skimming the surface. So I'm just going to do some that are, you can just see the top of them kind of like that and just leave it that way. Maybe some off to the side. Let's do one over here, like a nice purpley one. Peeking down. And then I'm just brushing off the edges to kind of give it a soft look. So it's just a collage of roses, guys. Just gonna get some of that pink and add that to the center. Let's get some of that pink and add some. I can see a couple of people are talking about having issues with angles and such like. I am going to address that as soon as we finish because it requires a little more detailed explanation of how we can, or at least what I am doing to do that, because there's no real method to it. It's just about visually what you're thinking goes. And at this point, I've kind of given you an idea of how to smoothen things out, and you can literally just go around and position the florals as you see fit. You're trying to create that full shape of just like a cloudy set of blooms. Like look at this one right here. It kind of looks like it's facing me, but because this is a loose style of painting, it doesn't necessarily need to be facing me or have to be a floral that's facing me. This one is facing upward because I didn't give it a lot of detail. So stuff like that will happen, and that's okay. Just keep on painting. Once you get the hang of this kind of placement, because it doesn't happen overnight, if you have a visual of a bouquet of flowers, then that might be helpful. But if not, that's okay. Just like use this as a practice session to kind of figure out how you want to get your place your roses or get down the technique if this is the first time that you're kind of doing a technique like this. I'm going to do an orange one over here, and this one I'm going to try and make it as loose as that one over there. So just adding a couple of strokes, and seems to have too much water on here. That's okay if it has too much water, because this is literally the edge, and so if you want the edge to be a little more faded and not as detailed as the rest, then that works very well. I'm gonna get some, I'll just do a couple more and then we can move on to the to our vase, I think. So I'll do a couple over here on this side. And I'm just kind of, now this is just going to be a floral that's like peeking off from the side. And feel free to add your little dots, kind of, you know, phasing out your edges almost. Getting some pink. I'll do a little bit of pink mixture in here, just to see if that like adds anything nice to it or not. I'll do another pink floral here. And now look at this one, like I'm literally just pressing down and giving it a very blurry sort of look to it, as opposed to the more detailed ones that we've been doing up there. Then I'm just going to take my mop brush and just do a couple of dabs around this, getting some of that pink, but then also getting a very nice, pretty, light pink cloud almost happening. And I'm just going to add some more of that pink in here, just in the edges. And just adding it to like some of the water we added to the edges, so it gives us again another pop. So you can see it's like very soft, very loose, and it's a pretty combo. So I wanted it to be oval in shape, so not oval, sorry, semicircle in shape. So I'm going to add one more rose looking floral here, and I think then we have that perfect shape. So adding some water to the edges of these. And then just adding a little more of that color to the center so that it will blend in nicely. Maybe adding a couple of strokes to the edges because we just added water, and that might give us a nice blend. Perfect. And then we have that. So I'm going to leave that many roses that we have, and let's add some slight greenery to it. I will use the number 4 silver black velvet for that, which is right here. And for our greens, let's use the green from St. Petersburg, White Nights. I'm going to keep some of the yellow ochre on the side just in case I want to mix it to get like another hue. Actually, yes, I do want to mix it to get another hue. I'm going to mix some of that green on here first, and then get some of the yellow ochre. And I'm mixing it in with the green. So it's going to give me like a light green. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in there and get some of that dark green so we get a nice contrast. So some of the leaves, I don't want to overpower this bouquet with leaves, so I'm not going to do a whole bunch. but I will do some happening in the areas that are damp if they are still damp. So I'm just going to do one on this side here, and you can see how light it is and how loose it is. So it's literally as if it's peeking out from the roses. And I'm just adding a tad bit of the dark green to the edge so that it gives a hint of shadow. Same thing over here. Let's do one happening this way. You're literally just pressing down and then swoosh and leave it loose, leave it open-ended. I got a little bit of the dark green, and now I'm going to do one coming this way and downward. And wow, that gave me like a nice effect. I like that it's given me those linear lines happening in there. I'm going to get some of the mixed green that we have, and now let's add one right here. Perfect. And I'm going to get a little more of that green, and let's add another one or some greenery happening over here on this end. So I'm giving it a stem first, then an extension, and then pressing down for the leaf. I'm pushing all the color down to where the stem is. I'm going to do the same thing here. Pushing all the color down, just dipping the tip in water. I want a super light, faint colored leaf at the end. And then I'm just going to get some of that dark green and add it. Okay, I need a little bit more. And add it right here down the stems. Perfect. I'm going to add a little bit of detailing over here on this side since I have some green happening. And it's fine to do a couple of flicks like this that might add some nice detail to your loose detail to your bouquet. So feel free to kind of do that just very sparingly around certain areas. It doesn't have to be overly prominent all over the place, but like you can literally have little blotches of green that way as well to just kind of give you that hint that there is some green in there. So this is all I'm going to do for the greenery. Now we're going to go ahead and do the bottom of it. For that, I am going to use the Silver Black Velvet number 8. I could use the Neptune as well, but just because I said we're using all these brushes, we're going to use all these brushes. So now what I'm going to do is lay down water first, and then we are going to go in and add in some of the either the gray or the blue. So feel free to use any one of those colors. I am going to use this indigo blue. I think this is the one. I just got to make sure I test it before I put it down. But I want it to be like a very light, muted version. So a very light. Sorry, this is the indigo, so this is the one. Whoops. Light vase. That's what I was trying to say. So water. You guys might not be able to see this as I am painting on here, but I'm gonna try and see if we can make it happen. So what I'm doing is I want the shape to be like a tapered rectangle. Feel free to give it any other shape if you wish to make it more oval or like a fancier shape. You know what? Just so you guys can see what I'm doing, I am going to do a light drawing of it. So this is what my vase is going to look like. I think this will be helpful. And we're giving this a base, just like this. So we have that, and then in the center, a very ornate looking kind of thing. Ornament, ornate looking pattern, design, yeah. And I'm just doing a very rough drawing of it. So this way, as I am doing my painting or adding of color, I am able to decipher where I need less color so that this ornament kind of looks more obvious. So literally that's all I'm doing, just a couple of lines, and then the color is going to do the rest of the job for this. Okay, so I hope we're good to go. Okay, so we are going to add some water. So I'm going to add some water all around the ornament. So first I'll start on the left side, and then we'll kind of do the right hand side after. So adding water, pressing down my brush so that it's a nice spread of color, just very lightly kind of touching the edges where the florals are, and then very lightly going around my little ornament, ornate pattern, whatever you want to call it. I'm not quite touching the bottom as yet, but I will add space between the top and the bottom as I add some color, sorry, water. All right, and now I'm going to get some of that azure or indigo or blue that's here. So this is all I am mixing. That's all I'm getting. And then I'm just going to add some color, pressing it down, moving the color all the way down, then kind of going to the edges where I kind of added water, moving it downward. Going around the ornate ornament pattern, design, whatever you want to call it. Moving the color around, like that's how light I want this to be. I want it to be super light. And I'm just going to dip just the tip into the color palette, and I want to get one line that's like dark, but blending in with my water, and that's just going to indicate like a shadow. That's what I want it to indicate. You can add a couple of dabs of that below the florals as well. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of that at the bottom over here. And then dipping the brush in water, I'm now painting on this side and having it touch here. In fact, if you wanted to get it to be darker, just go back and dip it into your, dip the tip of the brush into your color palette and get a darker hue, and then just add it on. So that's it. That's all I'm doing there. And now we're going to do the same thing that we did here on this side. So I'm moving the color over because this area is still damp and there's quite a bit of water on the top. So I'm moving it over, spreading the water around. Now it's like a very light blue that we have happening. And I'm pulling that all the way down. Still kind of going around this ornate thing that we have. And if you have white space in between, like I have little blotches of white happening, that is pretty. Leave it in. And now we're going to go get just a little bit of that blue on here and then add it to the very edge. And then I'm just going to add a couple of dabs of it at the bottom here to kind of, again, indicate some shadow happening. Oops, got a little stroke happening there. So just kind of move the color around till you are satisfied with how it looks. Just adding some of that additional blue so it it's slightly more highlighted where the florals are touching. And then I want to do a very thin line on the inner area here. That's a little detail on the vase. And you can see it's not a perfect line, it's just a very thin line. I'm going to add one over here too. You can see how it came out super dark at the top and then it's very light at the bottom. It's not even in line with what I had previously, and that's okay because that's the style of this kind of painting. Like, it's supposed to be pretty, not super detailed and not super perfect. We're not looking for perfection. That's highly overrated in my opinion. I'm just adding a little bit of that leftover blue at the bottom now. Perfect and perfect. I know that's an oxymoron. Perfectly imperfect. There we go. And now we can do the center. So for the center, I'm just going to use, I'm going to leave the white space and I'm going to take some of this blue directly from there, mix it on here to the side so I know it's not super dark. And now we're going to give this some highlights. So we've already kind of outlined the shape, so we don't really need to redo that again. So on the inside, I'm just going to add like an oval comma stroke, and then this one's thicker and then this one's thin, and then kind of trail off. It doesn't even have to connect fully, guys. Then I'm going to do one on the inside just where these two little bunny ears or whatever you call them are there. Again, very lightly. And you're trying to give it some very loose detail without being too detailed about it. I hope that makes sense. And same thing here. Perfect. And then that's it. We're going to leave it at that. Now the inside has like some sort of floral pattern or something. I'm not quite sure. We can kind of just add a couple of details like that. So how we did that flower or any of the flowers at the top, I'm just adding petal-like strokes around. So like oval strokes just all the way around this oval shape that we have. And then I'm just going to go in with a little bit of that blue and just dab it in the center so that it kind of swishes around and highlights certain areas in the oval. And then this way it looks like the light is glistening or catching some of the detail, adding some detail to the bottom swoop bowl shape that we have happening here too. And then if you want, you can even add a little bit of detail like around. I'm just going to add a couple of lines. Design your own pattern for your vase. There we go. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to add anything else to it. I'm just making sure that the colors kind of moved around properly and doing its thing. That's good enough. And there we go. We have our bouquet, guys. After all the drama of the phone holder falling down and the fuzziness and whatnot, we finally have it. What do you guys think? I hope you guys liked it. I hope it was fun and you learned something new. And I hope most of all that it was relaxing for your Valentine's Day. Now, one comment, you can take it to the next level by adding some detail into this after the fact, or if you like how loose this looks and how nice the contrast of that dark sharp green against the light pink clouds or orange clouds happening in here, you can absolutely leave it. But you can take your number 4 or your number 2 and you can just get the leftover color and you can do some layering. And by layering I mean this. I'm just going to show you one and then you guys can kind of run with it if you want to take it that route or not. So I'm just getting some of that pink for instance, and I am going to add some additional detail to the florals that we have. So for instance, over on this end here. And by additional details, I mean I'm literally just overlapping color over color and doing the same motion, but not paying too much attention to how spot on it is. Adding some water to the tip of my brush and kind of continuing the comma strokes as we go around. So you see how that pops out some more. So if you like that effect, like that's what you would do. You're just like going in, adding some of the detail with a thinner brush and letting it go, like leaving your edges nice and soft. You're just kind of adding a little more detail to your centers, just like that. So you can see the difference between the ones that don't have details and the ones that do have details. Again, it's a preference. So if you like that, you can absolutely do it. If not, leave this as is, sign it at the bottom, and you are good to go. So I'm gonna read comments now. That was a little bit stressful, guys. With that phone holder falling down, that was a little bit stressful. And then the whole fuzziness. So sorry in advance. But if anyone had any questions, I know there was a lot of chit chat happening. And for me to kind of go through everything right now, I think that would be really boring and prolong this video extra. So I don't want to do that. But let me know in the comments right now if you guys had any questions, and I would be so happy to address it for you guys. Cindy's asking, do you take care of your brushes in a special way as to make them so pointy each time? No, actually, truth be told, guys, I'm terrible at taking care of my brushes. I literally just wash them off after, like dip them in water, and I always lay them down onto my, on a paper towel on my desk to kind of dry off, hoping that the paper towel will like soak off as much of the brush water as it can. But if anyone on here has better suggestions for how to take care of your brushes so that they last longer, please feel free to add it in the comments, or even in the chat or in the comments below if you're watching this later as a replay. But that's all I have for you. I do have one comment. I am getting this new brush holder and it is going to be life-changing. I think I can't wait for it to arrive. It's going to arrive soon enough, and it allows you to rest your brushes facing downward, because having your brushes this way is not good for it. So having them dry this way, and I guess storing them this way, is a whole lot better. So I can't wait for those to come in because it's super pretty. It's like white and it's got like some gold intricate detail on it. I've not seen anything like this in the market. It's by this wonderful lady in Hong Kong. So she's shipping it over, and I think it's coming by ship, literally. No pun intended. So that's why I don't know when I'll be getting it, but I'll be getting it soon enough. And as soon as I do get it, I will be showing you guys how that works. Cindy says, that's what I do. Mine don't look so new. Cindy, send me a message on the side, or send me a picture of what yours look like, and then maybe I can kind of comment, because is it even the same brushes? I'm not quite sure, right? I mean, I think most of them are, because you have purchased like the mop and stuff. Janet, thank you. Looking forward to giving this a try. I am a beginner and find it hard to get just the right amount of water and paint on my brush with the loose style. Janet, honestly, that is an ongoing thing, whether you're a beginner or not. However, if you have not tackled anything like this before, feel free to check out my watercolor beginner series. And there's a playlist on my channel, so just definitely check it out. We start off with leaves and then we go with flowers. So I think you'll find that interesting, especially if you're new to the medium, which is very fun. Hi, Carol Baker. Okay, just FYI, every time I see your name, Carol, I always wonder, are we related? Or no, not related, but like, because my last name is Baker through marriage, so my husband's a baker. I know there's a lot of bakers. I'm being silly, but yeah, it reminds me of me being a baker. Carol says, after rinsing, purse your lips like you are whistling and form the points of your brushes that way and hang them upside down. Okay, so Carol's also talking about hanging them upside down. Yep. Laura, can you share at some point how to use a cat's tongue brush or maybe a filbert style brush? Laura, yeah, absolutely. I actually ended up doing this week's video with a filbert brush, and I love using the filbert brush. I have a video on using this one to create peonies, and that was from last year, so I think check those out as well. I can send it to you. If you just send me a DM, I can send you the links, because I know apparently I have like 200 something videos. I didn't know, when did that happen? Patty says, I'm going to order the Da Vinci mop brush. Patty, you still haven't ordered it yet? I am surprised. Kathy, there's a technique in putting soap on your brushes to make them pointy. Okay, so there we go. Kathy, if you want to elaborate on that technique, or maybe post a link in the comments so people can, I guess, address it or check it out later, I think that would be great. Judy, I think this is Jill's sister. Hi, Judy. I made a ceramic vase because I completely messed up. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. The whole point of this painting is for you to relax and for you to create something pretty. And so if it looks like something different, that's totally fine. That's like my flower facing upward, but it actually looks like it's facing me. But it still looks good. It's fine. Carol says, put slices into a pool floaty and hang brushes upside down from them being placed over a wastebasket. That's not a bad idea. That's pretty creative. I love that you have the same married last name like mine. Yes, there are a lot of us. They are. Pamela, my mop brush is shedding crumbs. Oh, I've not heard of this. How long have you had the mop brush, Pamela? Patty, I keep chickening out because I'm afraid I won't be successful. Patty, you will be successful. I've seen your work. You're awesome. You're awesome. Patty is pretty awesome. Laura, thank you. Your work is la bomba. Thank you, Laura. I love it. I'm thinking of Richie Valens right now. Yes, Jill, I totally knew from the last name. Janet, are the beginner lessons you refer to on Patreon? I'm not finding them. No, Janet, they're not. They're all on YouTube. So all my lessons, guys, are for free on YouTube. My patrons get an entirely different, I guess, perks, set of perks, which usually involve direct one-on-ones with me and my crazy ideas. Delma. Oh, Pamela, you said a few months and only doing that today. Interesting. Maybe it's dried off paint. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, Pamela, but that sounds weird. Maybe you should contact the contact where you purchase them from and just let them know it's doing that if it's not just dried paint falling out. Delma, hello from Texas. Thank you for so many great ideas. I made my hubby a Valentine's Day card with the balloon you showed last week. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I love reading stuff like this because I'm like, oh my gosh, really? Me? My video inspired you to do this? It's really cool. I hope you really liked it, by the way. Tina, it was a lovely way to spend Valentine's morning and so fun to have time enjoying watercoloring today. And yes, to watercolor brush care. Would love it. A cheap brush fell apart the other night. Yeah, it's heartbreaking when an expensive brush falls apart, but it's not so bad when a cheap one does because you get what you pay for, right? So it's all good. Patty, Claire's, you're way too kind. Thank you. I'm not kind. I am honest, guys. I am honest. And if I don't agree with something, I will not say it if it's negative. Nancy had fun today. Nancy, thanks for joining. Glad you had fun. Thanks for joining, Janet. I'm glad you had fun too. Brittany, thank you for the relaxing Valentine's Day painting time. I always enjoy your lives. Thanks, Brittany. And Brittany, you won. You know that, right? I'm going to message you later. I need to remember. And Carol, you're welcome. Cindy bought an Escoda 6. It broke. They gave me money back. I love my number 2. Thanks, Pamela. Yeah, Cindy, my number 2 Escoda is right here. I am thinking of getting the dagger brush by Silver Black Velvet, but it's out of stock on Amazon. But I can't wait to get it because I think we can do some amazing florals with that. All right, guys, I think everyone is... Oh, Leah, your mom's really happy with the flowers. I'm so happy. Send me pictures, guys. Please send me pictures. Everyone who's happy with their work, or even if you're not happy and you have questions for me, like how can I make it better or whatever, please send me images of your work either on Facebook or on Instagram. My handle on Instagram is Hello Clarice G, and Facebook is, just look me up, Claire Scombs Watercolor Designs, and I should pop up. But yeah, if you do end up posting on Instagram, tag me. I am fine with that. I will definitely interact with you guys, or just in the comments below, just go ahead and add something on there. But yes, thanks so much, guys, for joining me on Valentine's Day and spending this special time with me. I feel like a loved one. I have to tell you guys this. I will be making a post later on, and this is what I was trying to say in the beginning of our video and our chance together. But being such a romantic, if you guys have been following me and I'm posting all these love songs, which I kind of just get fueled up on because I'm such a lover at heart, a lot of it like kind of boiled down with me realizing in the last 2 years that being in the clouds with, you know, there's that one special someone for you and whatnot, and that's how you kind of find your fulfillment in life, is when you find someone that you can call your own and completes you. I think it was like a huge letdown to realize, you know what? All along, it wasn't someone else like my husband or my kids or my best friend that would fulfill that. It was me. And I found out that I wasn't being all those things that I'm being to everybody else around me, which a regular empath and a giver would be. And I was neglecting myself. And because I felt all those things insufficient, like I wasn't good enough, I was just a little bit too big, there's people way better than me out there, just not feeling good enough, like not a good enough daughter, a friend, a wife, a mother. You can see my little kid over there. Took a toll on me, and I realized it was affecting a lot of my relationships. And when that hit home, I think I hit rock bottom last year, where I was like sitting in the car and just thinking, oh my gosh, like what is happening to me? Why do I feel this way? And that's when I realized just giving is great, and having a heart of a servant is great, and being there for others is great. But when you're not there for yourself, it does lead to eventual crash. So for everyone who's out there struggling with thoughts like this, trust me, I've been there. I know what it feels like. Focus on yourself, honestly. Notice that you are an amazing person, and your value doesn't lie in someone else giving you those words of affirmation or what have you. So just, you know, Valentine's Day, take some time for yourself, guys. Like, do whatever you feel you like to do in life, whether it's sitting down over having a cup of coffee or a glass of wine and reading. Do it for you. Don't say you don't have time for yourself. That's not fair. And lastly, before I say goodbye, this is what I got myself for Valentine's Day. This cute little bracelet with a ladybug. Yes, last year I got the earrings and a chain. And this year I saw the bracelet and I was super excited and I said, I have to have it because it's red and black. Those are my colors. So anyways, that's it guys. Just that's all I wanted to share. So hope you guys had a wonderful time with me and we will chat soon. I can't wait to see your work, guys. Thanks so much. Love you all. You guys give me, honestly, you bring so much value to my life. Love you guys. Bye.